Do you believe he's somebody that can beat and that he can beat Belal?
I think right now he's a step behind Belal. This fight went exactly like I thought. It was boring. I'm just being honest. It was not an exciting fight. It's a fight. They both fought hard. They both fought tactical. But it just was overall, it was a boring fight, be honest.
Yeah.
It wasn't, people were expecting, this bloodbath and a barn burner. And I was like, I just don't see it, because for Rakhmonov to have the advantage, he's got to be in a grappling situation for the most part against Garry. And so that means he wants to clinch, and that means he wants to take him to the ground. He's not going to, we talked about it, Machado's not going to be easy to take down. It's going to be a tough one, and then Garry, his thing is he's got to stay at distance, and he did for a lot of it, but he didn't throw. I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah.
You're going to go back and you're going to watch that fight and you're going to go, man, I should have thrown there. I should have thrown there. I had to take the chance. And he was waiting.
How much of that was because of the memories he had of training with Rakhmonov and how good he was back then?
I think a lot of it. I think he was expecting that, he thought that Rakhmonov would try to throw and he could counter at times. And then when Rakhmonov was not throwing, there's nothing to counter. So you're both standing there waiting. And you look and you go, and he was letting rounds go by that he was losing. If you want to say, yeah, he lost the round, but I mean, it's by this, a gnat's ass, because neither one of them are giving the judges anything to frickin' do.
And this is another reason why we should have a half-point scoring system.
This is exactly why.
This is one of those fights. And when people talk about the half-point scoring system, this is one of those fights.
Yeah. It is, and I take nothing away from Shavkat. Hey, he is now 19-0, but now he has one decision. He wasn't able to finish Ian Garry, and it wasn't, let's be honest, it wasn't close to a finish anywhere in there. So it's
there was one close to a finish. It was the other way around.
Yeah, Ian Garry.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you look and you go, hey, you put two really good fighters together many times, this is what you're gonna get. And they're both cautious because they have trained together. We talked about it and you said, well, when guys have fought, or trained together, usually it's a good fight. And then a lot of times it's not.
Yeah.
There are those times it is, I'm not going to pat you on the back, but you and Gilbert Melendez put on 3 unbelievable action-packed fights. It was awesome to watch. And there's been other ones that have had, great trilogies where you look and see each one was good. You look at Stephan Bonner and Forrest Griffin. They had the first one, which was fantastic. Then they went in the second one. It was okay, but it wasn't what the first.
It's hard to live up to a good second one when you had such a great first one like that.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah. But it is done at times. And guys, there's certain ones they match up, and it's a firefight from the beginning. Just because of the way they fight and the style that they bring and how it matches up with their opponent. This is one of those ones, it just wasn't there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I was expecting more as well. I think everyone was. I thought Ian had to pull the trigger a lot more, like you were saying. I thought Rakhmonov I think he had flashbacks of in the gym, believing that he could just take him down once he got to body locks and he could control him and control the top position. Because when he did get to the top and he was able to make space, he landed some good shots from the top position, was able to control Ian Garry. Because Ian Garry's, he's gotten a lot better, it seems like, off of his back. I mean, we haven't seen much of him on his back.
He's obviously much better.
But you could tell that Rakhmonov was like, oh, wow, you're not the same guy on the bottom as you were when you were at Killcliff.
That's right.
And I think a lot of it has to do with the training with Charles Oliveira and training with all the guys from the Charles Oliveira camp. And so I looked at Ian Garry and I thought to myself, if he can stick and move, put some pressure on him, make him fight a fight where Rakhmonov's got to overextend, he can maybe catch him. But he didn't do that. He fought very composed. He wasn't concerned about getting a fight not to go the distance. He didn't care about that. He's like, look, if I got to beat you by going the distance, I got to beat you by going the distance. He didn't let that get to him. Some fighters would have lived on that, like had that pelt on their.
I have finished every fight. I have to finish this one and done something to put him in a bad position. It's possible. Yeah.
No, I agree. I think it could have put himself in a really bad position to the point where, and he almost did at the end.
Yeah.
That submission, had he understood how to shove that hand behind the head and how to finish that, I mean, it would have been a lot different. Would have been a lot different. I mean, the fight would have been over. And can you imagine though the submission? People were talking to me like about how Shavkat, like when I said I wasn't completely sold on him. John, I saw a lot out of him tonight that I was very impressed with. Very impressed. Super fast, faster than I gave him credit for. His spinning attacks are very fast as well.
Just kicks and boy, I'll tell you.
Yeah, when he goes, he goes.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of that lull you to sleep first. Let me just bounce in front of you, little tiny feints, not really do a whole lot. Wait for you to kind of like twitch or flinch to my feints.
And you can bring your finch in too.
Yeah, my finch, yeah. But it just was one of those things where I was like, oh. And then he almost got submitted by Ian Garry.
Yeah, he did.
And so when I'm looking at the fight, are you sold on him? I have to ask you, are you sold on him? Like, in terms of like, do you believe he's somebody that can beat and that he can beat Belal?
I think right now he's a step behind Belal. I'm going to be honest about it. One of the things that it could change with any fight.
Oh, absolutely.
One of the things that I did notice though, after the first round, he was shaking out his arms bad.
After the grappling, the wrestling.
Oh, yes, he was. So you know what they felt like. It's one of those, holy shit, they're feeling heavy, they're feeling sluggish. And then he did it again later on. And it was like, you're having a problem with this grappling. Well, Belal can grapple and grapple well. Belal is every bit the wrestler that Shavkat is, I believe, and can wrestle with him if he wants. And I honestly think that Shavkat's got some good spinning attacks. He does have speed when all of a sudden he decides to go. It's going to be a good fight. But right now, I honestly think Belal is the guy that is going to end up being the favorite in it.
No, I would agree 100%. I just watching that fight, I'm thinking to myself, Belal is the guy that's going to be right in your grill. He's not going to allow him to do those spinning attacks. If he's got to be all the way in or all the way out. And so, whereas Ian Garry can go ahead and afford to be kind of like in the middle there because he can reach him and he can still lean back enough to get out of the way. And he's also a very fast twitch muscle fiber type fighter for a white guy. And the thing with Belal is not going to fight you that way. Belal is going to just step right into the pocket and just keep putting you on your back foot. And when you overextend, he's going to take you down. And when you don't overextend, he's just going to press you to the fence and then lift, scoop, take you down again. And in the process, you're going to eat a couple shots because you're concerned of whether he's going to shoot or whether to keep your hands up or not. So I am not complete. Like, I'm sold on the fact that he's definitely
good.
He's definitely good. I'm not knocking that. He can't be 19-0 and fight, have this many wins in the UFC and this many wins outside the UFC, and come on. He looked fantastic. I thought he looked good. But the way he had to win that fight was a very boring fight. But you expected that. I expected if it was going to be a boring fight, that Ian Garry was going to win. My last question for you is, did you expect it to be 48-47?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
I wanted to, I thought, like, I don't know which round it was, but I go back and I'm like, okay, I thought Ian Garry won a round, but the rounds were so razor close.
That's
maybe the third round, but I can't know if it was the third round.
I had Shavkat up, I want to say the first two rounds. And then the third was super close.
Yeah, I think that's the round I gave.
And so I can understand you going either way on it. And then the fifth was for Garry. So, makes sense. I had no problem with the 48-47. Yeah, it's not what I had in my head because I think I gave the third round to Rakhmonov too. And I was like, he's way behind. I will say this. Rakhmonov beat a really good fighter. Ian Garry's good. And he's 27 years of age. And he's going to be a champion someday. He's going to be. He's that good. But he does need to learn, hey, there's times when you expect your opponent to be doing something and they're not. You've got to change from waiting to being the aggressor and going after him, or else you're going to end up in these positions where you can lose the fight, where you're not really losing the fight.
I mean, but John, does he beat Leon Edwards?
Him and Leon's a good fight, I believe.
No, I agree. I think I'm just asking you a question. You think he beats Leon Edwards?
I think he could. I think Leon could beat him, but I do think Kamaru Usman would be right now. See, and this is I hate saying this.
Yeah.
right now, I think Kamaru Usman and his skills as far as with his wrestling would kind of be the guy that would give Gary the most trouble. But I'm being honest, Kamaru's getting older, and every day he's getting older. And
no, I'm talking about Rakhmonov.
Oh, Rakhmonov. I thought you meant Ian Garry.
No.
Rakhmonov against Usman. It's the same thing. Kamaru is a great athlete, great fighter, but he is getting older.
Yeah.
And he's slowing down. And really, is he fighting at 170 or 185 now? I don't know. He's trying. He's more into the I want to have super fights against people that interest me more than I care about going after a title again. And
that makes sense, though, John.
I don't have a problem with it at all. I understand it, and it makes sense to me as long as he's comfortable with it. Great.
He's paid his dues. Like, Absolutely. If you want to fight fun, if you want fights that motivate you, let's fight those fights. Yeah. I keep hearing that it's gonna be him and JDM. So it's gonna be Jack Della Maddalena and him. I'm down with that. I mean, I believe he can take him down and control him, especially when we saw the way that Gilbert was able to take him down and those type of things. But I think that Kamaru fights Jack Della Maddalena, get an opportunity to see if Kamaru still has it, which I believe he does. And Jack Della Maddalena is a good fight for him. Good fight for him. And if he's looking for those fights where he has a chance, a good opportunity to win, fighting the Shavkats and the Gary Machados, the ones that have got all the spunk in their fire. I was like, and I know that Jack Della Maddalena is the same way. He's not. He's not.
Della Maddalena isn't really lacking in the spunk of wanting to win.
No. But he's not as fast twitch. He's not going to be throwing spinning attacks. He's not going to be that guy.
No, but he does have a fucking killer fucking hook. The guy is a fucking good stand-up, more boxer than kickboxer, and he can take a shot.
But who gets lost in all this, John, is Sean Brady.
Yeah, he does. But Sean's got to come back from, and he's won his last couple and he's looked really good doing it. But, when you have that one loss, and it was to Belal, and it wasn't a close fight.
No,
it's not one of those ones you can just I get one win and I'm back in the same place. No, you're gonna have to get 3 or 4, and now you're back in that same location. They realize no, you're still that guy, and you're one of the best, and he is. I think Sean Brady's fantastic. Who are we talking about him matching up with though? I can't remember, but he's someone that is always going to be a problem for people in that weight class based upon strength, and he's good everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I'd like to see him fight Leon Edwards.
Be a great fight.
Yeah, because if Kamaru Usman's fighting Jack Della Maddalena, Shavkat is going to be fighting for the title against Belal, and Ian Gary's going to be probably hanging out, waiting around. Remember Brady had a baby. Sean Brady, not him, but his wife.
Yep.
So, he got a little time to recover, get a little time to be on.
Men can't have babies.
No, he can have maternity leave. I don't give a shit what they're trying to tell you, buddy. They cannot have babies. They can't breastfeed either, by the way.
Please don't try.
No, please don't try. I mean, I like to play matchmaker in the situation. So you got Shavkat and Belal, you got Kamaru and Jack Della Maddalena, you've got Colby Covington and Joaquin Buckley. I also want to see where Joaquin falls. If he beats Colby, I mean, that throws him into that full mix of everyone that's up there. And I'd like to see Sean Brady and Leon Edwards. Leon said he's got a fight coming up in the UK, I believe, in February. I think February or March, I think is when the show is supposed to be.
It was March.
Yeah. Sean's probably be ready. He'll be back from his maternity leave, and he'll be ready to go.
Yeah. Be a great fight.
That makes sense. I like to see that fight. So. This episode is brought to you by BetUS. Make sure you guys YouTube 150 for the promo code. Also, Element, use the link in the descriptions down below. Any product you buy from there, they will send you a bonus package of product if you use our link down below. Element's amazing, man. I love it. And I want to say thank you, man. Thank you guys so much for continuing to support us.